morning. Good morning this very rainy morning in Asheville. Just as expected, I thank you for getting out of bed and strolling in here to taste my soups. My name is Alona Kossoff, and I am the founder and the CEO of 18 Chestnuts, a vegan soup company here in Asheville. And today I want to share with you my journey a little bit, talk about food a little bit, and tell you about my soups a whole lot. So, access to nourishing food didn't used to be so cumbersome and so complex. As a matter of fact, food supposed to make us feel good when we eat it. But raise your hand if you've eaten food that made your stomach hurt. Yeah, pretty amazing, right? Because some food has become a weapon against health. Truly. In our race to cheaper ingredients and engineered substitutes and my favorite, natural flavors. Does anyone know what natural flavors are? Yeah, I'll tell you what they are because I just learned that when I was at Expo East. Natural flavors, not natural whatsoever. It's a chemical compound that it impacts your body on the cellular level. It impacts your brain. So what it does, it creates addiction. And it impacts your brain to trick your brain into thinking that you're still hungry when you're not. There's a reason why you can't put down a bag of chips after you had a few, right? Or cookies. So, here we are. And as a matter of fact, over 100 million of us struggle with digestive problems. In 2022, National Institute for Diabetes and Kidney Disease had done a study on 70 million Americans. And what they found was astounding, because 31 of us suffer from heartburn, and almost 25% of us suffer from regular abdominal pain. 20% of us suffer from bloat, diarrhea, constipation. And as a woman, I stand here to tell you that we, as a female generation, or female gender, suffer those symptoms 3 times more. And that's pretty harsh reality. I understand firsthand what it's like to have access to unhealthy foods. We can find them on every aisle in every grocery store. They're familiar, they're tempting, but they left me feeling sick. Our struggle is that we need to understand that to get better, we need to choose good food. And our struggle is to know how to, and to find the time to make this food, the plant-based and low sodium and no sugar added and gluten-free. But the trick, it's got to taste good, because we need to come back to it. So let me know if this at all sounds familiar. I spend countless hours at doctors' waiting rooms. And I invested time, money, and emotional capital to undergo all sorts of tests, some invasive, only to be diagnosed with IBS, a catch-all. And do you know what the answer was? The pill. Acid suppressant pill. Does that actually cure anything? Well, not so much. See, I didn't want to be part of a statistic, and I didn't want to suffer. So, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm a perpetual student of things. And so I started reading books and listening to podcasts by renowned doctors and researchers in the field to understand how I could get better. I became a yoga instructor. I finished a year-long plant-based living class at Cornell. And what I found was that my favorite food of all is soup. And I truly can have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that really helped me heal my gut. And so about a year ago, I created my passion project. We moved here, my husband and I, my partner in business and life, 2 years ago. And I couldn't resist. Every Saturday morning, we would go to North Asheville Tailgate Market. And if you guys haven't been, you must go. But if you've been, you understand how beautiful it is there. The array of vegetables and fruits and spices, and most importantly, people. And I felt at home. And I wanted to share with them my story. I wanted to share with them the food that would make them feel good. So a little bit about our soups. We have currently offer 8 different flavors. And our soups are shelf-stable. They're good in your pantry for up to 18 months. They're very convenient and easy to use. They're dairy-free, gluten-free. They have 40% less sodium than leading brands. I have no added sugar. They're delicious on their own, nutritious and hydrating, or you can have it as a snack with something else, or even you can use it as a filler to make a bigger dish, if that's what you like. So since we've been at it for a little bit more than a year, this summer in New York City we won World Plant-Based Award for Most Convenient Food. And we went up against big brands, and that was so rewarding and reaffirming. We've done the entire North Asheville season at the Tailgate Market. We've shipped over 2,000 orders nationwide. We sell on Amazon. We, our customers come back 40% of the time. We are in over 60 retail stores. And this is some of the reviews that can be found on our website or on Amazon. But people love the product, and I love that they do. So, in a nutshell, that's my story. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. We have lofty goals for 2023. All I ask is that you try our soups. I brought you 3 different samples. I ask you to be the leader for your family and for your friends and share with them what our soups can do for your good and to enjoy that, really. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilona. I've got a lot of questions about this. I want to know how I can be a healthier person, and I really want to know more about all the success you're having. We're going to bring up Steve as well. The soup, maybe? No, the marketplace. Soupy sales. Soupy sales. Soupy sales. The sales guy. Well, come on stage as well, please. And who's got a question?
Can you tell me why you chose the name 18 Chestnuts, please?
Thank you for that. So 18 means many things in numerology, but 18 is my number. And 18 stands for perseverance and for life and for taking care of humanity. 18 is a cornerstone of 18 Chestnuts. My soups do that. They take care of humanity. They persevere in a market that's inundated with really crappy food. And chestnuts is because chestnut maple is my funnest creation of all, chestnut maple soup. I've had entirely too much fun with it. I discovered chestnuts in the last couple of years. They have an interesting story of their own, but they're traditional enough. They're lower in fat than others, but offer a lot of nutrition. And so chestnut maple had become my signature soup.
Try it on first. Many congratulations, Chica. I love it. Love seeing female entrepreneurs succeed like that. Secondarily, I love how your boots match your skirt. Right on. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the roadmap to expanding distribution at retail.
I'm going to start to answer that, and then I'm going to rope in my partner in crime. When I started out this venture, I really thought that 90% of our sales were going to come from the website sales. And it was a pretty rude awakening in terms of understanding how difficult that is and how expensive that is. And so we've tried a number of different avenues to pursue in the beginning. Some of them, many of them, did not pay out. But it was a learning curve, a really steep one. So where we are now and where we're going for 2023, I'm going to let Steven take that.
It was sort of a natural evolution for the company. Alona had this idea for a product. We started out at the farmer's market like most consumer packaged good companies do. Sort of a proving ground, and within 3 or 4 tries at the farmer's market, we were selling out 8 to 10 cases in 3 to 4 hours. So we knew we had good pricing, we had good product fit. And then we launched the website. We saw great traction on the website. We saw people coming back for more on the website, so we had good return visitors. And then we launched on Amazon. We saw good traction there. And just probably in August, September of last year, we pushed into retail, getting into about 3 stores around here. And then I moved on to Fair and Mabel, which is a wholesale B2B website for high-end gourmet shops, specialty shops, natural channel, and independent stores. And most of our growth has come through there and a couple other avenues, and we're just about 60 stores right now. And we're seeing good reorders from those retailers, and we use some geo-targeting to help the retailers get the product off their shelf and into the baskets, along with social media, putting it on our store locator, and showing the stores that we care. We're not just trying to dump our product on their shelves, but actually we view that as like half the battle.
So yeah, so understand that each venue that we went into was strategically evaluated, and we understood what the costs were pretty quickly. And so we're not undertaking too much at the same time, right? So for instance, we did the North Asheville tailgate market, and that was an incredibly successful source for us. So this year we're going to expand it to 5 or 6 different markets to be able to redirect the funds from that into supporting other venues, like the website sales. And that's continuing to grow. Amazon is, I think most people who are in this industry understand how difficult it is to navigate Amazon. And it's really hard to make money at it. I know Amazon does. And as a shareholder, I know I'm making money someplace there. But not so much as a vendor on that. And so we continue to evaluate our options. We're talking to distributors, we're talking to brokers, we want to understand how we continue to grow our business. And doing demos in the store has been really eye-opening, and connecting with customers on any level has been really great.
Hey, Vince. I have a question. As a small brand, what success and pitfalls did you see at Expo East for your first time? It was kind of difficult to get noticed at something like that, so I'm wondering what your experience was.
For sure. I think in a first year of business to go to Expo East as a vendor is probably not the most brilliant idea. So I can see. But I signed up for the second year, so I'm going again.
I think one of the pitfalls was at Expo East, everybody comes up and tries your product, they say, are you with UNFI or KV?
Right.
And if you're not with one of them, you're not in distribution, it's really tough. We did pick up about 10 or 12 independent stores from there, and one of our goals for 23 is to get in with UNFI or KV or a broadline distributor. If you have that and you go to Expo East and you've got a good product, I think you'll do well. And yours is a good product.
We love you.
In a lot of communities, finding commercial kitchens is a major challenge. How would you assess Asheville's capabilities there?
I think Asheville is an incredible community for entrepreneurs. It really is. And we found Blue Ridge Food Ventures pretty quickly. They're a co-packer, but they also allow small brands like ours to get their start. And they provided us with a home, and they provided us with access to equipment that we otherwise would not have been able to get our hands on because it's expensive. And they understood our purpose. So right now, as we're growing, we're finding our way through their schedule and our schedule and maximizing our output. But it's been amazing. It's been really amazing. And really quickly, before I forget, I have to give a shout out to Susan Clark and Betty Shutton. My pals, my mentors, they've been incredible to be with and to work with. And they really have helped me define my voice and to come forward and be able to be on the stage and speak up.
Your presentation was so clear and your photography is beautiful.
Thank you.
I'd like to know more about your manufacturing and your capacity, and as you grow, how you plan to address that and how much capital will that take?
Everything is strategic, right? And I'm a numbers person. So right now we have 8 different flavors of soup, but only 3 flavors are being pushed into retail because it's all I can support properly. Having said that, I am starting my conversations and research on a co-packer for those retail flavors. I have to. Because if my president of sales, just what exist people do, I'm gonna have to be ready, right? So, but I don't wanna lose my reality of, I love to be in the kitchen to create crazy combinations. And right now, I'm in the kitchen creating summer extravagance, summer soups. They're gonna be cold because I want people to understand soup is an all year round thing. And so I want to continue to offer different flavors throughout the year, and I want to continue to grow a catalog, an archive of our soups. And those I want to produce here. I'm using local and regional farmers to do that. And I want to use local team. I have 3 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees. And I want to continue to grow here and produce these unique flavors for people, for my customers on the website, at the markets, grassroots.
And right now, we're manufacturing about 2,000 to 2,500 jars a month. And we're about to hit 3,000 jars a month, which is sort of our upper limit. And that's why we're looking at co-packers to branch off just the 3 retail flavors that we're pushing into retail.
I have a maybe multi-part question. I'll admit I'm fairly naive when it comes to your industry, but one of the things that stood out, I was just curious, you said about the retention is about 40% of repeat clients.
Yes.
In your industry, is that, I mean, because imagine there's so many options that people choose from. Is 40% like, is that the metric that you're aiming for, or is there a bottleneck in order to get that higher?
No, it's just a number that represents us. It's our number. It's what our business is. I don't know that there is a standard for that, right? Because soup industry is really convoluted. A lot of soups on the shelf are not good for you. Okay? They have ingredients that you cannot pronounce. I cannot pronounce. I do not know what they are. I just know there's some sort of compound. And there shouldn't be there. So 40% is just our company's repeat business because I'm watching my numbers and evaluating them from month to month. And my goal is, to continue to grow with it.
The issue is we're a brand new brand.
Right.
And we're just developing brand loyalty, and 40% is where we are right now, but obviously we want to double that and get a kind of a cult following for what we're doing. we're hoping to double that within 12 months.
Yeah, because I'd be curious if it's 18-month shelf life, if you start to see you've got to people start seeing the expiration date. Curious.
What's been, hi, again, +1 on the photography, it's gorgeous. Thank you. And I'm hungry and I want that.
Right outside.
Pretty much right now.
Please try. That's outside. Yeah.
Count on it. I'm curious, what's been the most channel perspective? I heard you mention quick following and some social media, but I'd be curious how, what's been most successful for marketing?
Probably Facebook. What we're very focused on in terms of our North Star is who is our customer? How does our customer think? And through constant review of analytics of who our customer is through surveys, it's someone who's female and in the age group of 35 to 55. And Facebook marketing has probably been our best tool for attracting that crowd.
So far. But we're expanding that. We're trying for a bigger demographic because it appeals to everybody. It doesn't have to be 35 to 55. I mean, we have a few women that I know that live in an assisted living facility, and they order soups, right? Every week or every month, whatever the time duration is. But they continue to order a soup because it's an easy thing to do, right? You shake it up, you warm it up, you put it in a thermos, you take it with you, and it's nutritious. It has a lot of vegetables. It has a lot of spices and fruits. And so, in terms of marketing, Stephen leads the way into the marketing. We do have a marketing team that we really like. They're young, they're hungry. It took us a while to find them. The beautiful photography you talk about is actually done by a woman. The company's name is Made Outside in Charlotte. And Kara's been incredible to work with, and her team, yeah.
I did want to add that since Forbes magazine said our soups are great as an aphrodisiac, we've gotten a lot of mail.
Be on the lookout for a Valentine's box being featured on our Instagram and Facebook today, tomorrow.
So two-part. First, as a community, where can we help you? What channel, obviously, make the better margins on your website? Is there a certain location in town you'd like us to get your product? So it'd be great to kind of drive us to where we can give you some lift.
Yeah.
The second, as said, be the head of the household, I try to educate myself, and I'm clearly a novice and probably fall into the same trap as a lot of people around organic. When we talk about pesticides, so you look at the Dirty Dozen, and that's probably, like most people don't understand that even organic foods have organic pesticides. Can you just talk about your sourcing and the sustainable practices of your farmers?
Yeah, so I'm going to answer the second question first. We get so hung up on labels, and if we just understood what organic means, you'd be surprised to know that it doesn't mean what you think it does. And then getting that certification, as expensive as it is, and I'm on board with it, doesn't mean that you're going to get incredible quality of food, which makes things a bit more complicated. So what I do is, I'm a snob when it comes to food, because I don't want to hurt, right? Mine comes from world of pain. So if I can't eat my soup, then I'm not making it. It's that simple. So we work with regional and local farmers. And I get, for instance, for red pepper pomodoro, right? The first ingredient is tomato. And it's definitely on the Dirty Dozen list. So I go organic. I can't say my foods are organic because I don't meet the threshold yet, and I haven't paid for the certification. Is that a way to go? Yes, only because people somehow associate a certain meaning with the word organic. But some foods, some vegetables don't have to be organic, right? They just don't. And it's silly to pay extra money for it. But people do. I mean, they do. So my commitment, right, is to continue to produce food that I would buy and I would eat, and I'm not buying things that are going to make me sick.
Great.
I hope that answers. As far as the first question you had, I'm going to let Steve an answer that. How do we get in? What can the crowd do?
If you have a favorite store that you'd love to see our product in, send us an email at 18chestnuts, support at 18chestnuts.com, or talk to the store manager and say, hey, I've got this soup that I love and I want to see it on your shelves. As we're shipping across the country on our e-commerce orders, we're telling our customers to do just that. Tell us where you want our soup on the shelves, and we've been kind of focusing our store growth through that avenue.
Aren't you guys at Provisions Mercantile?
We are at Provisions Mercantile. We're at Common Housefly in Black Mountain.
Mother Earth.
Mother Earth does home delivery of our soups.
Yeah. We're trying to get into more stores here locally.
Hi, I experienced your products at the farmer's market and really enjoyed them, by the way. You have a really nice codified, curated design language that really holds up. And I'm curious to know from a marketing perspective, how you balance the aspirational parts of your brand, taste and quality, versus selling on fear of depositioning other brands that are inferior.
Sure. In the last, I don't want to sound conceited, but I'm not worried about it. So, look, for the last 2 years, okay, after I retired from doing the lawyery and accounting things and left side of my brain exercises, I searched for my passion. I searched for something to find meaning for what I was doing and why I was here. And I don't know when it happened, on the mat or off the mat, someplace during my drive when I'm listening to a podcast. But I'm not worried about other people. I only worry about my brand. I worry about what I put out here. I worry about what it means to produce this food, that if I can make a difference for one person, and I know I've done that, it's a check mark for me.
Can I ask you a little bit about recipe development and how you came to the flavor profiles that you did?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
So I've been making soups for the last 3 decades. I have a book of a lot of recipes, and some of them started out with chicken stock and dairy and cheese. But having gone to Cornell and having educated myself on the subject matter for the last few years, I had to rethink them. And all of a sudden, I couldn't rely on sugar. I couldn't rely on, chicken stock or whatever, or other ingredients that I no longer use. I have fun in the kitchen. I go to the farmer's market on Saturday mornings, and I just look around, and whatever inspires me comes home with me. And I make a soup, and I make notes, and I'll remake it again. Right now I'm working on cinnamon and colored green soup. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's delicious. With roasted cauliflower in it, it's fantastic on a cold morning like today, right? And for the summer, I'm not supposed to talk about new flavors, Gwendolyn, right? We're not supposed to give out secrets. But the cold soup is going to be some version of cantaloupe and mint. It tastes amazing, right? And I have an executive chef, and she helps me to bring my recipes out of my cookbook, out of my little pot in the kitchen, to a huge vats of 60 gallons to make. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. And we bounce ideas over each other. She came over for 3 days of R&D last week, and we just made soup.
Do you have people testing them? Like, taste wise?
Yes, our neighbors cannot take it anymore. We're going to have to move sometimes. Is there any availability in your neighborhood?
Just so you know, we have to clear at 10 because another group is going to come in. So I'm going to wrap up questions now, but I want to ask one.
Yes.
I want to push you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What else can we do for you? I mean, we've got people here who understand Amazon. We've got people who know a lot about online marketing, about web, about accounting, about regulatory stuff. Is there anything else we can do?
Really, I would turn it around and say, we're experienced entrepreneurs for the last 30 years. If anybody else has a startup business they're thinking about doing, or they're in a startup business and they want to ask us questions, it's how can we support our community that's been so supportive of us?
All right, I like that. You're